Ms. Rusk? I believe he's virtual.
Yep, I'm here.
Brian Bissonnette, you have a quorum.
Let the record indicate we have a quorum. We have 4 committee members here and 1 virtual. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please arise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Number 4, certification compliance with open meeting laws.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by Section 19.84 of Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 5 is the meeting agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to move number 10 to right after number 7.
Okay.
I'll second that.
There's a motion by Mr. Helwig, second by Mr. Peters to make an adjustment on the agenda of moving number 10 to follow number 7, which is the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 6, public comment. There's a few people that have filled out forms to speak. If there's somebody that has not filled out a form to speak, please do so and bring it forward. The length of time to speak is the discretion of the chair. The first person we have is Eric Dahlwither. Please state your name and your address, please.
Eric Dahlwinter. I live at N1226 Bennett Bay Trail in Birchwood. And I am here to talk about the opening of County Highway DD from F to the county line for UTV usage. I'm hoping that we get this opened up for multiple reasons. One, so I don't have to trailer my UTV into town every time I want to go ride the trails. And there's also multiple people that live all along DD and then on Bennett Bay Trail, which butts up to County Highway DD, that would like to be able to do that as well. It also will free up parking space in town for people that are out of town to bring their trailers, because some days it's a packed parking lot and not everybody can park in town. So another reason is I also have a piece of property on DD down the road a little ways where I have a boat dock, and I would like to be able just to drive my ATV there instead of having to take my pickup truck or something every time when I want to go out on a boat. It'd be just very helpful to me. Sorry. 1 second here. There's lots of residents that live on DD that have ATVs also, not just myself and the people on Bennett Bay Trail that would also, I would believe, benefit from this, so they can just ride to the trail system again without having to use a trailer. It's estimated that maybe 70 to 8% of property owners have a 4-wheeler on that road. Most driveways, I work for the post office, so most of the driveways there have a clear, you can see people pulling in and out clearly without having coming over the brim of a hill or whatnot. So it's a little safer that way also when people are bringing their ATV onto the road. See, there's not many full-time residents on the Sawyer side, maybe a dozen or so, but it will benefit us again, as I said. Yeah, that's about all I have. It would just be a huge benefit for everybody living on that road and just save us a lot of time. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next, we have Miss Linda Zilmer.
Linda Zilmer, property owner on County Highway F in the town of Edgewater and resident in the village of Birchwood. I also have a lot adjacent to the Tuscobia Trail in the village of Birchwood. I hope you can entertain me getting through things. I'll try and summarize. One is the letter that got posted to the website at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And it's making the case for businesses to open up routes. But it is really like the playbook that I have heard across 3 counties over the last 3 years. So a number of things that I hope you take into consideration is not being true. Number one, that all of our county neighbors have opened all their county roads. That's not true. It used to be they'd say Russ County opened all the roads. That wasn't true. In Barron County, they said everybody else had, and it's just not true. Not all county roads are open in our neighboring counties. Number two, connectivity used to mean connecting to trails. Highways were only used, the route requests were for trail connectivity. As you've heard, that doesn't mean the same thing anymore. It's just, as according to this letter, you want all county roads open. That's not connectivity. Another thing that was in the last week's newspaper that's not in this letter is that research by the Alliance revealed that neighboring counties do not require town approval of route designation of county roads. Well, that's not true either. The Washburn County ordinance I brought to this committee multiple times doesn't take applications or route requests from some user group. That committee will not even consider a route request unless it comes from the town and accompanied by minutes. And there are other criteria as well. Maybe the most disturbing thing in this letter is why there is such division about this. People who care about public safety or don't want to have all roads open are viewed as anti-ATV, anti-UTV. So it has created this line. This same rhetoric has been used for years and years. So hopefully when you consider the route requests, you consider the public safety and balancing rights. There are UTV and ATV owners who are not here tonight, and they do not want some of these routes opened. Some of them live on Double D, and they've spoken at Washburn County. I don't know if you received information from them or not. Well, another thing that I'd like to mention is that maybe right now, for the time being, Sawyer County is in a bubble, and some little map starting in January 2018 doesn't show fatalities. Well, it's all around us, and I'm sure there are people in here in the room that can talk about Maple Terrace and fatalities and Cedar Avenue and fatalities. Just because it's not on that map doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen in our vicinity. Just for facts, for 2023, as of the September 13th report, there have been 26 ATV, UTV fatalities. 14 of them, or 54%, were on public roads or road routes. Alcohol often plays a role in many of the fatalities, and blood alcohol content results are still pending on many of these. But I sent a link to the 22 report, which summarizes for the years. So I'm sure people are not sitting on their couches and having one too many drinks and then getting on their ATVs, UTVs. You know, if we really enforced place of last drink, I would think that you'd see a lot of these fatalities have been from going from different establishments. I have a copy, and I'm not going to take the time here. There are a lot of people, but it would be nice to almost read the incidents, every incident and fatality that has occurred on a road or on a route. Again, largely it's going too fast for conditions. These vehicles are not meant for paved roads. They do not handle on curves. And this is a trend year after year. So I am again requesting that none of the County Highway F segments on your agenda for tonight be passed in either Edgewater or Sand Lake. Law enforcement in the Birchwood area, both local and county, have been busy all summer. In the interest of accuracy, it's been a shit show. People don't follow the rules. You open all the roads and they go through people's property. Whether it's tonight or come May when you review routes, I may be coming and asking you to close down the sections of County Highway F that have been opened because local users cannot seem to help the situation and law enforcement is overwhelmed. Thank you.
Thank you. James Stradlin.
James Strandland, 7253 West Moose Lake Club Road, live in the town of Round Lake. I'm also a business owner, have a vacation rental property. I want to speak about the ATV, UTV ordinance that I'm in favor of changing, allowing the county to make a decision on roads that they own, that the town has no jurisdiction. We don't do any maintenance on the roads. It's very similar. I look at as like the conditional use permit hearings that we have. Both people can make decisions, talk about it, but it comes down to county sponsorship. What they have to say goes. I would like to be able to have you guys consider some of the things other people may say and not be truth. I know there's going to be some more facts presented later to show you how few accidents are occurring on ATVs, UTVs. I'm an avid ATV, UTV user. I've traveled many other states, state of South Dakota. We could drive on major highways, blacktop roads, highway speed limits, state of Wyoming. The advent of accidents and non-safety, I feel is false with some of the people have said. It's the careful drivers that obey the rules and the laws that are going to be punished by not giving them some extra opportunities to connect other routes that we cannot get to from the areas. These are going to be presented a little bit later. This will be a great benefit to some of the businesses. The Moose Lake area has 3 major restaurants, bars areas. The advent of opening up for people from there to go down to the flowage and vice versa is a great asset for people in the area where I live. I will greatly hope that you will consider opening up some of the roads. I also would like to thank Mr. Pino for his great listening and his guidance with some of this here, and look forward to his comments if he makes some today. And with that, Mr. Kinsley, thank you for my time, and the rest of your board, thanks for listening to me.
Thank you. Mr. Don Marotta.
Good evening, Don Marotek, 10594 Kansas Avenue, City of Hayward. Sawyer County is known for being one of the top 5 destinations for ATV and snowmobile riding in the state. You know, I would hope that everyone would like us to stay on the top of the list as for a destination for people to come up here riding. During COVID, many of you saw an increase in people coming to our area where a lot of places were closed down. They were coming up here to enjoy our great outdoors and our trail systems. The county benefited greatly from the sales tax increase from this, where many on the board here thought that we were going to be in financial trouble because of COVID. The dynamics of ATV riding has changed greatly over the past few years. With the popularity of the side-by-sides, and many riders now are no longer just interested in trail riding, but are interested in road routes. They prefer the road route, less dusty, and what is extremely important for us, not only having great trail systems and road access, but the people want access to food, gas, lodging, and our services. So I'd like to see Sawyer County keeping up with the demand. Some of the busiest highways in the state are Highway 13 going through Wisconsin Dells, going through up Main Street and through by the water park there. Wisconsin Dells has so much to offer, but a couple years ago, they opened up their city streets and those major highways to ATV travel. They don't have any trails down there. It's just road routes down there in Wisconsin Dells area. But they saw the importance of keeping up with the trend of ATVs and UTVs. The majority of the counties around us have opened just about all their county highways. As was mentioned, not specifically all of them, but the majority of their county highways are opened. We'd like to keep up there with this. A few years ago, the city of Hayward opened up Main Street, Highway B, and Highway 27, some of the busiest areas in Sawyer County. They've had little or no problems at all with opening those up. So at this time, we'd like to ask you, board members, to keep us involved, to try to help us with ATV travel in Sawyer County. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark, I can't read your last name, Highway F.
Hi, my name is Mark Newsom. I'm here in favor of opening County Road F from Stony Road Hill / Cedar Avenue to the Tuscobia Trail. This is the one short section from the Tuscobia Trail to Weyerhaeuser that is not currently open. Currently, when they come from Weyerhaeuser or other adjoining communities into the Birchwood area, they have to route around and go through the Birchwood Village. By opening up this short section, it would alleviate some of the congestion in the village for those people that are not wanting to stop to eat or have some refreshments in the Birchwood area. As said before by Eric, the area in town, Synergy took over Ed's Pit Stop. A lot of the parking for the ATV, UTV trailers is no longer available once they move the gas pumps to the west side of the building. That's just something I'd like you guys to consider this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we did perform a survey of all the landowners from Cedar, Stony Hill area to the Tuscobia. It was 100% in favor with the exception of one landowner who wanted to stay neutral because he has a business in the area. So.
Thank you. Ms. Laura Rust.
Okay, I'll try not to jump all over, but some things have been said, so that I think I would like to comment on before I go forward. Don coming up and talking about all the roads open in Wisconsin Dells and everybody rides the road, and I'm not so sure that is the ambiance that we are looking for in northern Wisconsin. So using the Dells as an example of what they wish it would be is, I don't feel is a good analogy. I am not here in looking at one particular request. Why I am asking to speak to you is because I listened into the Public Works meeting. They are the same night as our town meeting, so I went home and listened in and was alarmed at the end of the meeting to hear board members talking with each other on how to get the towns out of the process. And red flags, of course, and then the next thing I see, it is on an agenda. And we just put that ordinance into place in April. And here we are 5 months later, and because one particular request is not going the way they want it to go, we are now supposed to be looking at changing the ordinance to make sure that they are accommodated. And the comments made in particular by the Alliance and some others, that we are not really safety concerned, that our concern, our personal agendas, is nonsense. Our town takes it very seriously on what we feel is safe and not safe. I've talked to Mr. Pino about that particular section of road that seems to have initiated all of this problem. And John has been extremely busy being the new guy, and he has a lot of other things on his plate. There was no particular urgency in getting this looked at. And until we're comfortable, it's kind of a catch-22, until we're comfortable with our highway commissioner's thoughts on this particular stretch or any stretch that we are looking at, we're not comfortable saying, yeah, we support opening it. Everyone knows that County Highway B is an extremely high commercial traffic area. And the fact that 13 and 14-year-olds can hop onto ATVs, got to be 16, I guess, for a UTV, but you ride the road with no driver's license. You have no proper driver training. You do not have to carry liability insurance. You are being afforded all the opportunities that motor vehicles are afforded on a county road and a town road with none of the responsibilities to go along with it. the idea that we are just being one-sided and inserting our personal preferences is simply not true. I quickly ran off a copy of our town ordinance, which we just put into place. We have opened up 21 roads, 21 just town roads to ATV, UTV traffic based on what we thought was sound research, polling the people in the neighborhoods, and also opened up or put in to open up county roads. And when Gary was still here, County CC was before us, and it's also a windy, busy road, but we took the time and Gary took the time. It was looked at, and he gave us, basically told us, I feel it should be safe. There should not be any problems. There's not site problems. And then it was to end at County B. Well, since it was opened on CC and was to end at County Road B, to say it politely, no one pays attention to the law. You go right or you go left or you go wherever you feel like going. And law enforcement does not have the capability to keep up on that. And I guess I don't see we're taking away the town's input, and the people who live in that area is going to enhance the problems that are already there. So I guess my thoughts to the Alliance and to the other people pushing for more and more is, number one, when we just did our comprehensive plan, the majority of the response came back. This wasn't anti-ATV, but it was to keep the trail system going, but not necessarily opening up more county roads, not opening up more town roads. There needed to be destinations and there needed to be reasons. And again, with the idea of connectivity, that seemed to be the buzzword this year. I can understand that, but we also need to be looking at the safety, health, and welfare of the people who live here and use those roads. And that is what our purpose is supposed to be. So I'll just wrap it up by saying that I don't feel that, as many others don't, that taking away the town's voice in this is the proper approach to getting these problems resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all that filled out the request to speak. Is there anybody else out there who wants to speak to the committee? Okay, we have 2 letters that were written, emails that were asked to be read into the record, and I asked our county clerk to read them.
So I have 2 letters and 1 email, correct? Okay, the first 2 letters are from the same individual, Ralph Hansen. This one is dated October 9th, 2023. Enclosed is a letter I wrote to the county in August 2021. Today, reasons are the same as in 2021 for opposing the opening county of highways in and around the town of Round Lake. For decades, our board heard virtually no complaints from ATV, UTV riders about road access, or that potential customers couldn't travel to bars unless they did so only on an ATV. Until the Alliance leadership changed a few years ago. Don Rotek, the previous effective head of the County Alliance, routinely expressed to me that not everyone in towns was on board with ATVs operating on roadways. We've been successful in our town by compromising, routing ATVs to trails and utilizing small pieces of town or county roads to do so. If you take away town approval of county highways without understanding the dynamics of our ATV policy, irresponsible change will all be on you. Will you and the rest of the county board be there to manage and deal with the fallout? Illegal riding will absolutely occur from county roads to town roads and vice versa, not an acceptable outcome in our town. Is that how you'd see local policy determined in your town, reservation, or city? By folks who don't live there deciding what is best for your municipality, folks who don't have the big picture understanding of everything at play. I'd venture you'd consider that foolish, no matter how persistently outside individuals lobby for policy change while omitting key information in public. The justifications used to circumvent town control of routes keep changing every few months. When one doesn't work, another is substituted. Examples of strategies and slogans used by the Alliance and members. 1, we are taxpayers, therefore we have rights. We have the right to ride on any roads. 2, we want county roads open for connectivity. 3, more and more municipalities are doing it around the state and nation. All towns should therefore allow it too. 4, folks won't travel to our business unless they can do it by ATV, therefore we'll lose big income. 5, 1/4 of county residents own ATVs. 6, Round Lake's town plan Plan Commission survey, where 2/3 of town residents and property owners expressed that they wanted the same or less access for ATV riding in the town doesn't matter. Observations after listening to input from residents and visitors for nearly 20 years in town government and after residing in the town for 26 years. 1, we're all taxpayers, longtime residents, people with second home, and retirees and visitors. The majority are not ATV owners. Most taxpayers in our town desire up north tranquility, rural peace, and quiet, including on roads. Number 2, connectivity was a buzzword used in 2023. It suggested that by opening select roads to ATVs, that connectivity in our county and to other counties would be achieved. Folks complained that they had to drive to trailheads like skiers do to get on trails. But one person's connectivity means that many riders will be left out on roads not yet connected and then insist on opening the roads where they reside. The Alliance liaison to the Sawyer County Sheriff's Department already operates his ATV illegally on Highway B, demonstrating to adults and children that laws governing rules of the road don't matter. How does disregard for laws bode for the use of other unopened roads? 3, many municipalities across the county allow for many activities through laws and ordinances, but it does not follow that every other municipality adopts the same policies on any manner of recreation, traffic zoning, etc. What is appropriate for one community may not be for another, depending on a host of factors. Number 4, this is repeated publicly without data. Not all businesses support ATVs on roadways or assume that they will with a certainty reap economic benefit if ATVs ride by. I believe the majority of persons living in or visiting here value the peace and quiet of rural living more than any other reason. For anyone who suggests they are losing business because ATVs cannot ride on roads, I would suggest there are as many or more residents and visitors who avoid a business because they don't want to be around ATVs or reject the noise and concerns over ATV operation on roadways, or who own ATVs but decide to drive a car or truck to that business instead. My number one complaint from residents and rental property owners while on our board, ATV noise and disruption. Folks who visit and retire here expect tranquility and Northwood's quiet. ATVs and UTVs are loud and disruptive. Check out the Hayward Lakes Visitors and Convention Bureau survey from May 2023, where nature and peacefulness of a visit to Hayward are cited as the most enjoyable aspects for visitors who travel here. This statistic has been used when proposing opening more roads to ATV use. Some folks extrapolate from this that all Sawyer County ATV owners are in favor of allowing ATVs on roads. This is far from the truth. Many ATV owners tell me that ATVs do not belong on roads. It's time that those pushing for more road access stop ignoring the legitimate concerns of others about disruption and safety concerns. We have a working solution in our town, and it's based on compromise. Record income and a booming economy, not catastrophic loss to lack of ATV road access, has been reported in Sawyer County in the past couple of years. Retaining town control over ATV routes, as we've done successfully for decades, will ensure a workable compromise, facilitating trail opportunities and ensuring residential peace and quiet for residents and visitors. Its success story we hope to model for other communities around the state and country. Letter 1. Letter 2 from Ralph Hansen again. Dear committee members, I heard about this hearing yesterday, and due to the short notice, I'm unable to attend in person. I am deeply troubled by the proposal before you this evening. Here's why. For the past 17 years, I've been a Round Lake board member. We've juggled the interests of various user groups in the town and at the town level. Much discussion and weighing of issues has gone into this, particularly in respect to approving trails and feeder roads for ATV, UTV recreational users. Working with the Sawyer County ATV UTV Alliance, we've identified a system and built on it over time. The Alliance doesn't always get everything they want, and we've made concessions. We get it done transparently at the town level, and it works well. 2 things have happened which are key to your discussion tonight. Number 1, a few years ago, our town surveyed residents and had an unusually excellent response rate. Among the questions was one about ATV use in the town. The results indicated that a solid majority, 2/3 of the town, wants the current level of ATV, UTV activity or less in and on roads of our town. Number 2, also a few years ago, the board heard a detailed proposal to open Highway B to ATV, UTV traffic. Our board unanimously voted no. Pretty sure every board member felt it was a bad idea. When Highway Commissioner Gary Gutter contacted me a couple months ago about this, I took notes of our conversation. He explained he had experienced a change of heart on the Highway B matter. The lone reason he gave for now thinking B was okay for ATV use was that he had recently seen ATVs and UTVs operating on this stretch, period. I know Sheriff Moretek worked with him and I'm pretty sure that this is not how we or the sheriff department make decisions on changing laws and ordinances in Sawyer County based on observing illegal activities. There has been no compelling evidence to me to indicate our board re-examine this issue. I have not placed it on any agenda. Illegal operation of a vehicle on roadways will not sway me to do so. I might add that this ill-conceived, poorly thought-out idea, if even considered in the present form, will absolutely have adverse repercussions for our town. Aside from our perception that this process is being conducted in a sneaky, not transparent fashion, opening up B will absolutely open up our town to ATV use. If you don't think folks will take this as an opportunity to veer off Highway B onto Highway S, A, and McLean Road, then you haven't spent any time in our town. I guarantee you it will happen, and we will have no recourse. The town of Hayward has a police department. We do not. I'm pretty certain that the sheriff's department will not be sending deputies from Loretta, Birchwood, and Ojibwa to respond to groups of 10 ATVs flowing illegally down Highway A because the violators will be gone when they arrive. If you set this precedent tonight, you will have a lot of angry residents and board members in the town of Round Lake and set back relations between the board and the alliance for a long time. This isn't the way we make decisions in our town, and I'm guessing you, members of the committee, feel the same way about decisions in your towns. The board does not want this, and the majority of folks who reside here do not want this. I strongly recommend you don't begin this now, even if an attorney tells you you can do so. You need to understand the repercussions, and I hope this helps. Please do not allow Sawyer County to take away the decision power on local matters like this before you. Sincerely, Ralph Hansen, Chairman. The next is an email from Kay Wilson. Please read this into public record. I want to emphasize the importance of town input into county committee discussions, decision-making, and ordinances. As a new county board member, I am not as familiar with the southern towns as I am with the northern part of Sawyer County. The town's representatives know the people, history, roads, and inclinations of the residents. I depend on the town's input to make an informed decision at my assigned committees. If town's approval for ATV routes is removed and the committee members are going to do their due diligence and investigate the routes, public opinion in the entire town, not just along the route, history of the area, traffic counts, accident reports, etc., or rely on the organization or business owner that have a vested interest. Please do not recommend removing town approval from the ATV ordinance.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair. I did receive some emails that I provided the committee. One of those letters emailed this afternoon saying they'd be unable to attend tonight and wanted their letter read into the record as well. Can I go ahead and?
Go ahead.
The Round Lake Town Board represents all of the town residents and balances its decisions for the greater good by listening and knowing firsthand the thoughts and needs of the township residents. They're the ones who receive the late night, early AM phone calls with both complaints and kudos for town projects. Removing a township's ability to manage and maintain its character is contrary to constitutional guarantees and allows one group, the ATV, UTV riders, to take over our community. With increased population in Sawyer County, we're already dealing with increased traffic and speed violations on our roads. Our sheriff's department doesn't have enough staff to enforce current road violations, nor are they able to go where ATV, UTVs go. Easy access both to and from private property increases the likelihood of theft and vandalism, already a significant problem in our county. Why add to the problem? Keep our Northwoods safe, quiet, and unpolluted. Let our town boards do their jobs and keep our constitutional rights in place. You'll avoid getting the irate phone calls and will sleep better knowing you've done the right thing. Jerry Winters and Signe Backus.
You have more? Okay, thank you. Number 7, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. The minutes are in front of you.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Mr. Halwig, second by Mr. Peters to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We're going to number 10. I'm going to explain the rules of number 10. When we get down to letter D and E, it'll be at the committee level, and then we'll ask our highway commissioner to have his input. And then Kathy, representing the ATV, UTV, will have some input before we vote. Okay? Thank you. Letter A, Highway Commissioner's Report. Mr. Pinto.
Thank you. So we've been busy here wrapping up our construction for the end of the year. Crews have completed crack seal operations along lower portion of the county road F, G, and T. And this has completed our crack seal operations for the year. Our mowing operations also have been completed on all state and county roads. We're continuing to run our mowers as far as pushing the brush back and everything right now. We completed paving on County Road AA from the intersection of Highway 70 and County AA to Washburn County line. This was a 800-foot section, just consisted of a wedge followed by a 2-inch overlay, and no culvert replacements were needed. And this finished up also our paving for the year, and we came in under budget. I did also hire Russ County along with Sawyer to help us rut pave on County Road B from the intersection of County Road K to Frog Road. We've been multiple complaints over the years, and I've heard a lot this year of the hydroplaning and stuff that happens when we get a heavy rain. It's just a one-day project, and that was completed on September 27th. Did have a crew travel to Bayfield on September 18th. We did pave a snowmobile crossing along with a culvert on County M. It was nice to work with another county. I also did submit the request for reimbursement for County Road W. That was the LRIP project reimbursement, and we should be receiving, it was $200,000 here within the next couple days. We should be receiving that back. I also have received a RFQ from 4 firms for the County Road B project, including the K and B intersection, which we actually did review today. Me and Mr. Kinsley, along with Mr. Bicey, for the project from Chipwood Trail all the way up to Frog Road, including the intersection of looking at installing and adding a roundabout to this section. Firm was selected today and will be notified tomorrow, and we'll be moving on there. We also have hired a new patrol superintendent, Tim Meyer. He comes from us from Russ County. For the past 5 years, he's served as the operation manager for the highway department, would be the patrol superintendent position in Russ County. His start date will be November 7th. We have posted internal postings for 2 foremen and a night watch person. We actually conducted interviews for our foreman positions, and we have promoted within today 2 foremen, 1 for Hayward, 1 for Radisson. We currently have 1 for Winter already. I do have a candidate for the night watch person, which I will be talking to this Thursday. We still have 4 vacancies for driver operator positions in the Hayward, Winter, and Radisson area. Along with that, we had another retirement in Radisson on October 7th. We did have to install emergency culvert on County Road H, where the flowage was backing up and it was getting to the ladies' yard and over the power boxes. We got that installed. The draining is going very well. Last month, we did approve signs installed on Ortwig Lane and County Road W in Winter. Those have all been installed and put in place. And RT Vision, next Tuesday is our last training. We've been building that over the course of 5 training periods. And the week after next, we will be starting training with the crews and the supervisors along with the county, and we'll be putting in a trial run period. And I hope to be live with this program on December 11th. So I have a couple weeks by the first year to get this all put in place and working correctly. That completes my report.
Questions? Mr. Russ?
Nope.
Letter B, my friend.
I'll grab that one. Unfortunately, we have not concluded the work on the ordinance. I've been working on some other things, and John's been working on end of the year. And when I talked to John about it, he noted that we're pretty much to the end of the season anyway. So we're going to make this a winter project to get it done, to get the ordinances and permits drafted.
Do you want it on the agenda next month? Thank you. Letter C, roundabout update.
There isn't too much update yet on the roundabout. We had just selected our firm today, but I am actually meeting. I have notified the firm I selected and meeting with him on Monday out at the highway department to start discussing funding, because I'm on a tight schedule to secure funding on some things. I also did meet with Jason Weaver and working with LCO on this roundabout. So we have some things in place that we are going to be working on together. So it's pretty exciting for me.
Yes.
So right now, we're finding out if it's possible.
Right. And from talking with Jason too, when it was surveyed, it depends now too, what type of roundabout, because we have to be able to, for log trucks and bigger trucks and everything, but we'll get that all taken care of. Yeah. Yep.
Letter D, ATV, UTV trail ordinance review. Now, we put this back on the agenda so that it could be reviewed. I asked the committee if they wanted it on the agenda, and they thought it was in the best interest to do that. We have just put this ordinance together, and, it hasn't been a full year yet. And like everything we do, it's work in progress. I feel that we need to let it shake out a while and see how things move forward. And by no means do I want to take authority away from the township. So if we as a committee decide to let that go for a while, we can kind of see how it comes out to play. But what's the thoughts of the rest of the committee? Yes.
I agree with you. I do not want to take the authority away from the townships. But at the same time, I just want to make sure that they're thinking about the whole concept or the whole idea or what's going on when they do make their decisions. And far as opening up the county roads, without just opening up all of them, I think we have to continue the way we are.
Turn your light on.
My apologies. I would agree that the town's input is valuable. Obviously, they know their roads better than we do. As Ms. Wilson indicated in her letter, she knows the northern part of the county, not the southern part. And so why would you take that away from the town? So I think the town's input is very valuable.
Mr. Peters?
I too agree that the town's input is important. We are living in a relatively complex system. We have county ordinances, we have town ordinances. We are privileged to have a independent nation with us in the county. And all these different factors need to be taken into consideration as we proceed with anything that we do in the county. And as a former town board member, I think that this portion of the town board's decisions are very important to the functioning of this county. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ross, do you have any comments?
I agree with the rest of the board on this. I think it should stay at a township level. They have direct access to their constituents, I think a little more closer than we do. So yeah, I agree.
So, is there anything else on letter D of the ordinance that we want to review? Or should we leave the ordinance as is and move forward and continue to review it as seen needed? Yes.
I would say leave it the way it is and kind of like what you were saying, it's only been a few months and we've had it. So let it kind of, like you said, shake itself out, see. But leave it the way it is kind of, for now.
Letter E. ATV, UTV new route request, discussion and possible action. The number one is County Road C. We're gonna do these individually. County Road C to Highway 48 to fire number 13116. Commissioner.
All right, so this proposed route would be a 1.3 mile extension of the current existing route on County Road C to Highway 48. If approved, this route would provide residents access to the town of Mediator Dump in town board and existing route. Current ADT of this route is 140. There's no recorded accident history in the past 10 years. Current speed along this route is 55 miles an hour. I would propose an ATV speed limit of 45 miles an hour if approved. Visibility and sight distance are not a factor along this route. With the low ADT, the accident history, I do recommend opening this route, and the town of Meter has approved this route.
Thank you. Approve.
Nothing bad.
This request, is this has this been updated? My reason of asking is there's a lot of checks in the need column. Just looks like I say, if it's updated, if it's current, there's what, 5, 6, about 8 items in the need column on this request. So Kathy, can you?
They won't be checked as completed until after the road is approved. The township checkbox, that doesn't occur until after it's approved. It goes to the board of supervisors, then it goes back.
Ms. LaRue, could you step up to the mic, please? Thank you.
So a lot of those just aren't completed yet, but they're our checklist for things that need to be done.
Does that help you understand?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Logan.
Wishes of the committee.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'd like the motion to approve it.
okay. Do we have a second for the motion?
Since it was approved by the Town of Meteor regular town meeting, I'll second that.
So we have a motion by Mr. Russ, second by Mr. Peters to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, County Road CC, Devils Lake Road to Ryan Road. Highway Commissioner.
So this would be a 2.8 mile temporary reroute with the County C Bridge construction that will be taking place next summer. And I don't know exact date. It's going to be sometime between June and October. The current ADT is 350 along this route. There's been no accident history in the past 10 years again. Current speed is 55 miles an hour, and I would propose another ATV speed limit of 45 miles per hour. This is pretty much a straight shot. The visibility and sight distance are not a factor. And again, due to the low ADT accident history, I do recommend opening this temporary route for the reconstruction of the County C Bridge. LCO, Town and Village of Coudray have both approved this temporary reroute, along with no concerns from the Sheriff's Department or DNR.
Was there an ending date being temporary?
There isn't yet, until construction takes place and I get a firm start date. We could add that in there.
Mr.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anything you want to add?
No, just if you have any questions.
I was going to make a motion to approve, but we do need that date on
Okay.
as soon as possible.
I will second that motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just maybe as a way to clean that up, I don't know if you need an exact date when it would expire, but maybe add to the motion something to the effect when the commissioner determines the construction is complete.
Yeah, that in the motion. To end when the construction. Noted by, from the highway commission. That's the way you want the motion to read?
Yes.
Peters? Okay. Do we have a motion by Mr. Howick, second by Mr. Peters to approve and putting an ending date in there when the highway commissioner gets it, and there's a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Letter number 3, County Road DD from County Road F to Washburn County line.
The proposed route would begin at the intersection of County Road F and DD and go west on County Road DD for 1.2 miles. This route will terminate at Washburn County line. This route has a lower ADT of 150. There has been, in the last 10 years, no accident history along this proposed route. Opening this proposed route would provide access for County DD residents to travel to County Road F route. This, as we're all aware, this route has hills and curves and driveways. Visibility is at a minimum in one location. I did spend a lot of time personally in my off time with my rangefinder sitting on these corners and walking this road and ranging cars for distances. The current speed along this road is 45 miles per hour. And if approved, I would propose an ATV speed limit of 35 miles an hour. Due to this route not being connected to Washburn County and with the low ADT and the accident history or safety concerns, and I also talked to the Sheriff's Department and DNR, and along with what I see would be minimal ATV use, as it only provides access for residents to County F. And the town of Edgewater has approved this route. I have no issues as of now as opening this route.
There were 58 surveys sent out. We provided them to you at the last, let's see, back in March when it was, back in May when it was originally denied. And out of that, 45 of those surveys were returned, all favorable. There's approximately 12 full-time residents there out of all those people. The rest are seasonal.
Out of them 12 that are full-time, do you know how they
voted? Well, Bob, do you know? All in favor?
Thank you. Mr. Howie.
I was just curious, do you recall why it was denied the first time?
I think at the time it was a combination of factors. We didn't collect enough data. John was brand new at the time, and I think it was just a combination of we just didn't put together enough information to bring to the committee, and we've looked at it thoroughly.
I would like to, with all the information that our highway commissioner has done and gathered and everything, it sounds like he's done a very good job at checking into this route. I'd like to make a motion to approve it.
Do we have a second? Did the highway commissioner have anything else you wanted to say?
Just when it was denied the first time, as I was new and learning all this, and like I said, I spent a lot of time. I had actually walked this route and sat there for sometimes 35 minutes waiting for a car to come and range it to try to get my sight distance along with setting cones out. And all the people blowing leaves come down and talk to me and ask me what I'm doing down there. So that's why.
So we have a motion by Mr. Helwig, second by Mr. Bissonnette. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 4, County Road F, right-of-way road to Chapel Road. Highway Commissioner.
Again, I put, this falls in between two townships, between Sand Lake and the town of Edgewater, and I combined them together because it wouldn't make sense of if one section would be open or not. So this proposed route did come to, in May, I believe, for opening, and it was denied because we did not have Sand Lake's approval in my report. So the proposed route would begin at the existing route of Chapel Road and go north 2 miles on the County Road F to right-of-way road. If approved, this will connect to 2 existing routes on County Road F. The current ADT along this route is 560. There is light, various commercial traffic, just like the other part of F that is currently open. There has been no accident history or concerns from the Sheriff's Department or DNR. The current speed along this route is 55 miles an hour, and I do propose a speed limit of 45 miles an hour. I would also propose moving the ATV trail crossing sign to the north side of Chapel Road. Right now it's on the other side. I would like it closer to where the trail crosses there. Again, with the lower ADT and the accident history, I do recommend open this route with the approval of town of Sand Lake and Edgewater.
There are only 4 residents, I believe, on the Sand Lake portion, and all of them were in favor of opening the route. One of them is the owner of Summit Lake restaurant there, and they would like access. That's all I have to add.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would like to motion to approve that.
Thank you.
I'll move to second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Russ, second by Mr. Peters to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 5, County Road F, Stony Hill Road to the Scobia Trail.
Thank you. Again, this proposed route will begin at Stony Hill Road and go north 1.2 miles on County Road F to Scobia State Trail crossing. Again, if approved, this will connect the existing route on County Road F and provide access to the Scobia Trail without having to travel through Birchwood. The current ADT was 250. There's been 1 reported accident along this route in the past 10 years, and that's down by the Stony Hill Road intersection. The current speed along this route is 55, and I would again propose a speed limit of 45. I did talk to the Sheriff's Department and DNR, and no concerns. This would also provide connectivity to Russ County, which is open all the way to Weyerhaeuser, and the existing part of this route from Stony Hill down to the Russ County line that's already been approved and open when you come out of Birchwood. Again, pretty straight shot, 1 corner. Visibility are not an issue. And again, the town of Edgewater has approved this route.
What was the distance, please?
1.2 miles.
I have it wrong on there. I use the GIS to mark the distance on this one.
So we're gonna.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would like to motion to approve that per Mr. Pino's recommendations.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Russ, second by Mr. Bissonnette to approve. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just as I guess a clarification, so to speak, I'd suggest, because all of the ATV routes are in the ordinance now, I'd suggest that the committee make a motion to send the request to the county board to amend the ATV ordinance, section 3.01, to add these approved routes, committee approved routes to the designated routes in the ordinance.
Because these are all ordinances now, and the county has this wide range of ordinances. Every time something passed at a committee, it has to go to the full county board and still get approved.
Correct.
County board level.
There's to amend the ordinance.
So
3.01.
Yes, of the ATV ordinance.
I would like to make a motion that this the ordinance gets sent to the county board, so the portion of 3.01 can be amended with the current additions we made.
I'll second that motion.
motion by Mr. Hellwig, second by Mr. Peters to send the ordinance with the changes to the full county board meeting, which is next Thursday night at 6:30. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
under the Trouble Governing Board minutes, now, the Trouble Governing Board had also requested a road route from where the trail comes out on Highway K behind Mobile down to Gitagon. That wasn't on the list here, so.
I didn't receive a route request from the Alliance on that.
Well, it's in the minutes.
It's in the minutes. Yeah, I didn't have any route requests, so I did see that in the minutes.
May I speak? Mr. Bissonette, we have to go to the town of Hayward and get approval for that as well. And I didn't realize that you wanted to do that right now, so we'll have to bring that up again at the May meeting. And we'll get the town of Hayward approval beforehand, since we already have tribal approval, correct? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention, Mr. President. We'll go back to letter 8, Maintenance Department report. Mr. Hagberg has provided a written report to us. You had a chance to review that. You have questions on that? Mr. Alvarado, anything you want to hit for us, please?
No, you can see the summary. Maintenance staff is doing a lot of catching up on some office moves and improvements within the building, and we're already talking about winter and how to handle snow removal.
Thank you. Moving on to number 9, Sawyer County Airport report. Is Mr. Leslie available? No? So again, we have a written report from Mr. Leslie. Anybody have any questions regarding his report?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm kind of concerned what has been kind of going out into the public far as, I guess, his 5-10-year plan. I've been hearing from some individuals that plans on expanding the airport, and I'm on that committee, and I haven't really heard much into that yet. So I don't know if you discussed it with him at all, but
Yeah,
I would like him not to be discussing stuff like that to the public when nothing's been really brought up to us or the committee that
the master
the
plan.
master plan committee.
Yeah, Mr. Leslie talked to me within the last week saying he was getting phone calls from neighbors in the airport area, expressing concern about the airport plans or possible expansion. So I don't know. I can't speak to whether he's talking about that with others, but it is out there. And I think my belief is that people know the master plan is going on. So people are assuming that the master plan includes or is an effort to expand the airport. And I'm not saying it is or isn't. As far as I know, there's been only one meeting of the master plan group, and there was no talk about expansion. They're still getting preliminary work done. We are looking at dates for when the next master plan, the steering committee will meet. I think in early November is when the dates are being looked at.
But maybe, I'm guessing that, like you say, it's not really out there, so, they're just kind of getting a little worried too
Sure.
early.
Yeah, and
in
I
the process.
just
Just
reiterate
barely started.
what we talked about last month is that there's a master plan steering committee, which is essentially the stakeholders, some of the pilot, hangar owners, residents that are working on the master plan. When that gets closer to being completed, there will be public meetings, public hearings to discuss what's in the master plan or what could go into the master plan.
Thank you.
I guess that was one of my concerns from the report that we had about the master plan earlier, that was not noticed to the public at all. And that's, I think, is causing more upset stomachs than necessary.
Yeah, it's somewhat intentional that it's more or less a work group to work with the consultants to provide input on from the stakeholders. But there will be multiple opportunities for actual public hearings or public input.
Mr. Chair. And like we said, we are like in the crawl stage with this master plan committee or work group. So, yeah, people just gotta hold on, let us, and same thing as our other meetings, the public is allowed to come.
I also received a phone call regarding that, and I will be talking to Mr. Leslie and see what he has available, see what we can find out. Thank you. So letter B, master plan. Mr. Alvarado already mentioned there's only been one meeting. I thought we were having another one in October. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They were discussing October, but we're halfway through. So there's no date been set, but the dates I saw just last week, I think were in November.
We need to let the public know when the meetings are so that if they so choose to attend, they may. Letter C, Hanzik new airport lease request. Then you want to take that or Andy?
Either one. The hangar lease for Martin Hanslick has been on the 10-year extension period, of which it runs out in the spring in April 17th. So this new lease would start April 18th for a 20-year period at the new rates that have been established for new leases.
And we have the formula that was put together by our county clerk. And questions, concerns, action?
Question, I guess I would have, seems kind of early, isn't it? April?
It is early. What we'll do is, because these new leases are billed in January of each year now, we get it ready so that in January or November, let them go out for the January billing that includes a prorated portion for the new lease. So they'll only be paying for the new lease from April 18th through the end of December of next year. That's why it's early.
Thank you. That makes sense.
Wishes of the committee.
I would make a motion to approve Mr. Hanslick's lease extension.
Is the extension or is the
New lease, okay, I apologize.
I will second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Helwig, second by Mr. Bissonnette to approve the new lease. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, Mr. Alvarado, does this go to the full board?
Yes,
We need a motion to that or just let it go? Okay,
resolution, yeah.
so that takes care of both parts of letter C. We move on to number 11. Courthouse remodel update.
Not a whole lot, to talk about regarding the remodel. We still are waiting for some signs to be installed. They're coming with the, few pieces of furniture that you approved for the judge's office. Expect those to hopefully be here next week. There's still a couple things left on the punch list for, the construction manager to take care of. Nothing major. At this point, we have not paid any additional payment or draw requests. We're holding that until the project is completed and all of our other details are wrapped up. I do have a closed session on here to share some additional information, though.
Anybody else have anything? If not, we'll go into the closed session. Yes. Consider the motion to convey into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of the public funds, or conducting other specific public business. Whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, to wit, the discussion of the contract agreement for the courthouse construction project, to discuss contract performance, the courthouse project, and the county's legal contractual position and related same. The Public Works Committee will reconvene in open session immediately following the closed session to may have discussed and take action of the matter in discussion in closed session. Have a motion by Mr. Helwig.
Second.
Second by Mr. Peters. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Kinsley,
Yes.
Mr. Helwig,
Yes.
Mr. Peters,
Yes.
Mr. Rusk,
Yes.
Mr. Bissonnette. We are in closed session.
We're in closed session. You shut that down. All in favor of the motion to come out of closed session?
Aye.
Let the record indicate as a unanimous vote to come out of closed session. Sit tight for a moment or two. We have came out of closed session. We're now back in open session. The next item on the agenda is number 14, future agenda items. Was there anybody else out in the hall that we need to wait for?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So future agenda items, we're gonna keep for highway, we're gonna keep the driveway utility ordinance on, and so we can get it looked at and decide whether we want to approve it or not. And we'll keep the roundabout update on, because I suspect maybe not every month, but for a few months, we're gonna get updates. And maybe some months it won't be much, but we'll see where we're at.
Right now, I mean, I think this would be much update on it, I mean, or but I'm sure I'll know about.
So we'll just leave it on the agenda, and either we'll have something to report or we won't. Airport, is there gonna be more leases coming forward?
That's, Lynn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
typing.
Airport.
Yes, there will be two that I'll be working on.
Okay.
Mr. Korn, and I can't remember the other.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll have that on the agenda. And, I'm sure we'll find a few other things to fill in the blanks. Anybody else have anything that they want on the agenda? And if, even during the month, if you think of something you want on, want to contact one of us and get it on the agenda. Keep in mind to get that ATV trail that you were communicating about. You said that it's proven, so we get through the proper steps so we can get it back here. Okay? Yeah.
Me. I think she said me.
Okay. No, number 15, correspondence, reports, and conferences. Anybody have anything? If not, thank you, folks. Meeting adjourned. Job well done.
Thanks, folks. Have a good night.
Good night, Mr. Ruff.